Electric Witch, Elder, Leather, Florida Man, the Squid and the Whale, Brother Joshua and the Quickness, By a Thread, Year of the Vulture, Cicadas, Cloud Wars, iJammy, Judy and the Jerks, Swamp Temple, Soft Spot, DD Campus, and the Fuzz Conference. Thanks to these local sponsors: Hattiesburg Tattoo, Shipley's Donuts in Hattiesburg, The Thirsty Hippo, Rock 104.5, Sunset Screen Printing.
Hattiesburg Tattoo opened in September 2015 by Brian Jordan and Stony Boy. Their motto is doing badass tattoos for hard-working people in Hattiesburg. They currently have some of the best tattoo artists in the Pine Belt area, including Brian Jordan, owner artist, Stony Boy, owner artist, Tay Cole, artist, Hunter Applewhite, artist, Kim MacArthur, artist. Brian holds best of Pine Belt 2015 and 2016. We're the home of Halloween's free tattoo day.
With Big John, Kinsley, and Billy Ray. You know you're getting your piece of information compared to those local radio guys who still play with Star Wars toys. You're listening to Something to Talk About.
And welcome back to Something to Talk About, coming to you live from Oxford, Mississippi. And we are on location at the Holiday Inn Express here in Oxford, where me and Big John are taking in the Ole Miss baseball game this afternoon. And Big John's got something going on tomorrow in his own personal life here of Ole Miss, so we decided to come up here and watch the game. And Big John, how you like the hotel? I told you about this hotel. This is where we stayed at when Taylorsville was in the state championship back in December. Taylorsville High School got a floor, the third floor up to themselves last week in December. I told you about this hotel. What do you think about it?
Well, I tell you what, Billy Ray, the Holiday Inn here is pretty nice. We get in. We had a little issue, and they fixed it for us. Then we come down, and they're like, oh, we have a shuttle that'll take you anywhere in Oxford. So that was pretty cool. And, we get in. They have some chocolate chip cookies and hot chocolate. And so
we need the hot chocolate because it's cold outside.
Absolutely, so we go down and we go to Ajax and hang out there. And, I was really disappointed. I got the Big Easy, which is a country fried steak with butter beans and mashed potatoes on the sandwich. So, yeah, Heart Attack City. But I tell you what, I'm going to give it a 6.5. And I know a lot of people, I messaged some people, a lot of Ole Miss, graduates. I know some friends and family that went to school up here. They're like, you got to try Ajax. So I get all my hopes up, ready for Ajax. And then, you get up here, and it just really didn't have a lot of flavor. Maybe I got the wrong thing.
Maybe you did, but I also got that impression myself. I've come up to Ole Miss for the last 20, 30 years. I never have eaten at Ajax. I've always heard about how good it was. I had it tonight. I was not that impressed. I had the meatloaf, fried eggplant, some dressing. I don't want to give any advertisers any free advertising, but you can get meatloaf and dressing better at Vic's in Laurel where I work. Maybe it's because I work there all day long and I eat it all the time. But comparing that to Vic's, it's pretty much the same type food. I thought Vic's was better.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat, local restaurants there where we're from in Laurel. And I tell you, the Cosmic Deli, I was telling you there, really has a lot of flavor. And shout out to Mitchell. I know you're going to be listening, and shout out to your crew. Sorry we missed you, but we'll be back next week. And it's always good to try things. That way you won't make the same mistake and go back again.
That is true. Hopefully, when we go back to Laurel next week, Mitchell will have some cheesecake for us, and I want to try some more cheesecake.
Yeah, the Mardi Gras cheesecake is really good. Of course, it's Mardi Gras over, which is sad, but, it happens. But the blueberry cheesecake was really amazing.
Well, tomorrow, while you're off doing your personal business here at the University of Mississippi, I will go off and have breakfast on my own because I have a lot of time to kill because you're going to be occupied from about 8 till 3 or so. So I'm gonna drop you off so you can do that. Then I'm gonna go over back at downtown to the square. I'm gonna go over to Fill Up at Billups. It's a breakfast place down in the square. I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll have some good eats there. And I also heard Big Bad Breakfast was pretty good too. But have you been there yet?
I have been there. It is okay. It's a little slightly overrated, but it's okay.
Okay, and I'm sure there are more great eating places here in the town of Oxford, and hopefully we'll get to try a few more because I like eating places.
We're gonna have to come back up here and do this again.
Oh yeah, more no doubt. So let's shift gear, and since we are here in Oxford, and let's talk about the Ole Miss coaching surge. There again, if you've been living under a rock or just not into sports, that's cool. But Andy Kennedy and the Ole Miss has decided to part ways at the end of the season. Now, that leaves a coaching search open, and I'm going to give you a guy that would be a great hire.
Who you got?
I'm not talking about Doc Sadler at Southern.
Well, I certainly hope not.
So I'm talking about the guy over at Middle Tennessee.
Kermit Smith. Or yeah. Kermit. His first name's Kermit.
Kermit Davis.
Davis, that's it.
And I think he would be, if I'm Ole Miss, that's who I would go after.
So you won't go after the Mississippi State graduate, Leaksville native?
Well, he's proven himself at Middle Tennessee. He's taken them to the NCAA tournament. You can get him at probably a good price because, who else would you go after?
Well, there's quite a few other people you can go after. There's a local high school coach up in Memphis that you can go after, Mr. Anthony Penny Hardaway, former NBA player. He could bring in some talent from the city of Memphis with him being an NBA player, so you can get some top recruits that way. I've also heard that former NBA player, now head coach at Grand Canyon State, and he played for the Phoenix Suns, Dan Marley. He's interested. So might get some former NBA players come down here and coach for us.
That could be true. I would probably stay away from Penny Hardaway. I mean, let's just look at the situation going on all across the country right now. The recent basketball scandal, Auburn, down there in Miami with the Under Armour situation, AAU basketball. I mean, let's face it, that's AAU basketball is kind of like Dixie Youth baseball.
Yeah, it's all depending on who to get in playing the game.
That's true. I mean, and they tell these kids that they're going to be the next Michael Jordan, LeBron James, when some of them, I'm not trying to be mean, just can't play basketball. I mean, maybe they should try other sports or show choir or, just stick to their studies.
Okay. Well, shifting gears, let's go over to the NBA a little bit. Earlier this week, the Golden State Warriors were playing the Phoenix Suns. And Steve Kerr decided to let his players coach the game. How do you feel about that?
You really want me to answer that question?
I asked you the question.
I don't really care about the NBA.
Why not? What's going on right now? They in the All-Star break.
I mean, it's the NBA, dude. I mean, they don't play defense in the NBA. I mean, if somebody drives towards them, they expect a foul. They don't try to block. I mean, they just stand there. I mean, I will give him credit. LeBron James will play a little defense compared to some of them, but they don't play defense. I mean, the only team that even tries to play defense is the San Antonio Spurs, but they're lacking, an all-star team like Golden State has. I mean, you're just asking to play street ball. And I mean, who wants to watch street ball? I don't.
You don't want to watch street ball?
No, I don't want to watch street ball.
Street ball can be very entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure it can be. But this is a league, supposed to be a professional league. I don't know.
Okay, well, we tend to differ on that one. I tend to like street ball. seems to be a little bit more exciting than playing defense. Who wants to see a defensive battle? I want to see offense.
You know, I like defense. I like to see plays. You know, I just don't like to see them slinging the ball around and throwing it up for a 3 every 5 minutes.
So you want to go back to the old school North Carolina 4 corners offense where they just hold the ball all game long. No offense at all.
No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is I'd like to see a little more defense played.
You know, I want to see it. I want to see 3-pointers. I want to see dunks. I want to see something exciting. I don't want to see defense.
Well, I mean, you can have all that too. I mean, you can have the 3-pointers. You can have the dunks. But, I mean, I want to see defense. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see defense.
I like offense. I like offense. And shifting gears one more time, you know, back to baseball. High school baseball starts this weekend, or actually this week, next week, and I will be doing games twice a week. So, ain't you going to be doing some scorekeeping over at South Jones or something?
Well, I'll be running the scoreboard there, you know, and Andy King will be doing he's the voice of the Braves there, so that should be interesting. South Jones will be looking to compete for the region title there, and I think it's 5A.
It is 5A. There's 4 teams in the district. It's a little different than it is in football, and they split it up. 4 teams in the district. You got in District 5, 5A is Laurel, West, South, and Wayne County.
Yeah, you know, I look for South and West to compete against each other for first. You can't count out Wayne County with Ian Sharp, you know, having connections, played at West. He coached at South. A great coach, you know, learned from one of the, you know, best coaches in Jones County, him being a great player himself, a great pitching coach. And he's really, you know, helping change the program around at Wayne County. And then over there at West, Trey Sutton has done a great job in just a year, them winning the title last year. So that's going to be a interesting league. I think any of those teams can win first place. But, I mean, let's face it, Hattiesburg's going to be the team to beat again. They have some great athletes and great pitching. And down in 4A, look for Northeast and West Lauderdale to compete for the Region 5 4A title. And I think Taylorsville is going to make some noise in 2A. And I think Stringer might do pretty well in 1A as well.
Well, in Taylorsville District, since I covered them in football, I kind of know them a little bit. I look for Enterprise Clark and Clarkdale to come out of that one. But in high school baseball, when they break up the region, 3 teams make the playoffs. So I look for Taylorsville to end up making the playoffs. Look for Stringer to make playoffs. West, South, East in the 4A. So I think we're all going to make playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's going to, you know, it's going to be a wide open playoff, you know, stretch there for most of our teams in Laurel and Hattiesburg. I think there's going to be a lot of teams to make it. But, hey, thanks, guys, for listening. We're going to take another break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk and discuss the recent tragedy down in Florida and some other national news that's been happening, some good things, I think, that are beginning to take place in the country. So thanks for listening, guys, and we'll be right back.
Hattiesburg Tattoo opens in September 2015. Brian Jordan, Stony Boy. Their motto is doing badass tattoos for hard-working people in Hattiesburg. They currently have some of the best tattoo artists in the Pine Belt area, including Brian Jordan, artist, Stony Boy, artist, Tay Cole, artist, Hunter Applewhite, artist, Kim McCarthy, artist. Brian holds best of the Pine Belt 2015 and 2016. We're the home of Halloween's free tattoo day.
Hub City Madness is about making people aware of the various forms of rock music that has lived and made in our great city of Hattiesburg. Mississippi is the birthplace of rock and roll. And we need to act